Hey, Hulubek, how are you doing?
Hi, Dan. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you coming to our farm today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a good drive?
Yeah, that was good.
Good, all right. Well, why don't we take a quick tour of our technopark?
Sure,
And we can talk about Silverleaf.
Let's do that. So, could you please tell me a little bit about Silverleaf?
Yeah, we came here in 2018, but that stems back from a relationship with my wife's family. My wife's father and grandfather were here back in the 1970s and 1980s. I came here actually in 1994. And so we've had a long history with the country. We've got great relationships with Uzbek people, a lot of respect for what's going on here. We embrace the change that President Mirziyoyev has initiated here under his new leadership. And so we were invited to come and modernize agriculture, bring new techniques, new technologies, kind of work the Eastern practices and the Western practices together in agriculture to see how we might be able to improve things and make things a little more efficient and scalable. So we decided that we would do that and began farming, and our first crop year was in 2019.
Then let's talk about people. What do you do to show your employees you care about them?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, of course, we brought modern equipment that's all air conditioned and created great conditions for them in the field. But we're also working on opportunities for them and having created nice conditions here at our base, our operations. I mean, everything from a nice dining facility, summer kitchen, but most importantly is what impact do we have on their families?
My name is Narboev Kenjabotir. I have been working for Silverleaf organization since 2018. Silverleaf has provided us with incredible conditions, and we are all very happy. We have good salaries, and my family members are very happy that I work in this organization.
Assalomu alaykum. Men Umirzakova Shoiraman. Men mana shu
Hello, my name is Umirzakova Shoira. I have been working at this company for 2 years. The conditions at this enterprise are excellent. I am proud to work with Dan Patterson, who runs this business, and all our employees are proud of it. Dan Patterson takes care of all his employees, always provides comprehensive assistance. I am very happy to work with Dan Patterson.
ishlayotganimdan faxrlanaman.
So when we came, we began to interview others and look at wages in the region and what average wages look like. And we talked to people about what it cost to have a true livable wage. And in doing that, we found out that a lot of people were making maybe $250, but it took $400 to live. So we actually, that was pre-tax. So on an after-tax basis, we're wanting to achieve that and then some. Create some land-yap for people so that they can cover all their expenses. They can be a contributor in their community, be able to make sure they can pay their bills. And then see the velocity of money. That's kind of an investment in the community. Although it's directly through the hands and the pockets of our employees, it creates more vibrant community because then you actually have better economics. So we're trying to create conditions, whether it's here on the farm or at home or in the community. So we focused really a lot on selecting employees, training our employees, giving them the resources and the technology and the training. And we have a lot of complicated equipment here. And so our operators have spent a lot of time training. And
You educate them.
Absolutely. Educate them on how to use this big piece of machinery and advance modern farming and agricultural practices.
When it comes to wages, you want them to have a choice and concentrate totally on the work, right?
That's right. I want them to be dedicated to us, not having to worry about where they need to go have another job to moonlight or a second job so that they can put food on the table for their families. So we're trying to create a different paradigm, a different type of relationship with our employees.
how does Silverleaf approach the social and cultural norms of Uzbekistan?
Well, Silverleaf embraces the cultural and social norms here, but we also put our values above that. And what I mean by that is we look at the empowerment of women. We think that a strong country involves a change, a paradigm shift in how women engage in traditional jobs that have basically been maintained by men. For example, these are CP690 cotton harvesters by John Deere. They're the most sophisticated cotton harvesting machinery in the world. And we have two of the only certified female operators in Uzbekistan, probably in Central Asia, that are qualified to operate and manage these large machines.
Assalomu alaykum. Meni ismim Dilchehra.
Hello, my name is Dilchehra. I work in the Silverleaf joint venture and I'm very happy with this. I'm proud that I'm the first girl in Uzbekistan who work on such cotton harvesters.
Faxrlanaman.
And so empowering women, giving them equal opportunity to do a man's job, a man's wage, and being able to do that in context with your country, I think gives us a great opportunity to be able to show progress and continue this progressive agenda that's here in Uzbekistan.
Then, Silverleaf is involved in sponsoring the women's football team. You are in irrigational business. How that relates to your business and sponsoring the football team?
I look at, as we just talked about, empowering women, but I have twin daughters that are 28 years old. They were very involved in playing football and soccer in the United States, as we call it. The progression of an athlete and a student. Both of my daughters are industrial engineers. And so I'm very passionate about the development of young women. And so we engaged with the Sogdiana women's football team in Jizak. It's a regional representation of for sports. And so we engaged with them because I saw when we first met them the passion that they had. They have dedication, they're goal oriented, they have a lot of discipline, all the characteristics that we would want in an employee or even management. So I look at this as opportunity for us to be able to identify young talent that's professional on the field, and then they can come and work for us in our field. And so that's the relationship that we've built, that's the relationship that we enjoy, and that's why we're so dedicated and involved with Sogdiana women.
Then 2 years ago, I participated at the nation's first charity ball, where the Silverleaf was co-sponsor. And after that, my friend told me there was just one social project that Silverleaf is involved. And after I figured out that you also involved in the local orphanage, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. So in October of 2020, during our pandemic, we stayed here as a team at Silverleaf, and Mr. Saleev, who's the regional governor, the Hakim of Jizak, invited me to a grand opening of the orphanage in Jizak. I went, and I thought, this was going to be an opportunity for us just to go see another great achievement for the district, for the people. But what I really realized is that there's something special about this orphanage. When you look and meet these young children, and you look in their eyes, and you watch their character when they were doing their dances, when they were performing, you could see that they had a lot of confidence. And that's something special coming, I think, from an orphanage. And so I wanted to engage a little bit more with the orphanage because I felt there was a little bit of magic there. And the more I learned about it, I found out that the director was an orphan herself.
Silverleaf kompaniyasi bilan bizni aloqamiz juda ham yaxshi hozirgi kunda.
Our relationship with Silverleaf is very good. When Dan Patterson attending the opening ceremony of our orphanage, he saw that one of our orphans had a growth on her face and he promised to take care of her. We collected all of her documents for surgery and treatment and then flew her to the US. Once she was in the US, Dan let her and her chaperone stay at his house with his family, then also paid for all of her treatments and surgeries. The Sagdiana women's football team, sponsored by Silverleaf, frequently came to our orphanage. The team members played football with our students and held various events. Our cooperation is very fruitful, and our students have received great support from Silverleaf. We are grateful to Dan Patterson, Silverleaf, and Sagdiana for engaging with our orphanage and providing our children with emotional and financial support and life-saving surgeries. I believe that sponsorship of companies with our orphanage is very important so that our children can grow up to receive a great free education.
Yutuq bo'ladi, katta bir ko'prik bo'ladi deb o'ylayman.
And so now you begin to see the pieces of this coming together. And you know, these children are the future of Uzbekistan. All of our children are the future of our world. And so we have to take it upon ourselves to be engaged in trying to mentor and lead and show by example how God loves everybody. And so we've really embraced and engaged this orphanage. And I tell you what, it's really touched all of our hearts. And as a matter of fact, our Sagdiana women's football team has engaged them as well. And so the dynamics between the different programs that we're working on, and it's really exciting to just see how it all kind of feathers together. They're not separate social issues or social programs. It's all about life and about how we can impact. You know, we're a guest in your country. And being a guest in your country, you know, we need to be respectful of everything. And we need to make our own contributions. And so I'm very grateful to Mr. Salih for showing us the opportunity to engage with these young people and with this great organization that he supports personally. I'm just really excited about being part of it.
You mentioned about social projects in a local level regarding to orphanage, and also you mentioned the social impact of your company in the region level, which is sponsoring the women football team.
Right.
And you also mentioned about the gift that you bring in our country. Can you tell more about that?
Well, you know, we talked about culture earlier, and in Uzbek, you know that anytime an Uzbek comes to visit, they always bring a gift, right? So it'd only be proper for me as an American when I came to your country to bring a big gift. And so what we did on the national level is we have a relationship with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. They are leading the world in young adult cancer research and eradication. And so there's something called the St. Jude Global Initiative. We brought this program to Uzbekistan because in the United States for leukemia and lymphoma, which are blood cancers, we have a 94% cure rate through St. Jude.
94%?
94%. Over the last 40 years, they've raised billions and billions of dollars to focus research on eradicating childhood cancers. And so in that process, we were able to be the benefactor in my country, in the United States. Now St. Jude has created something called the St. Jude Global Initiative. They picked 6 sites around the world. St. Jude identified Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and the Ministry of Health and the President's administration embraced what this concept was about this global initiative is in coordination with the WHO, the World Health Organization. And so what's happened is, after that designation, there's been so much progress that they're not only just one of the 6, they're the number 1 of the 6 with progress. And so what our goal is to be able to have children that are afflicted with cancer, with leukemia or lymphoma here in Uzbekistan, where there's maybe a 10% cure rate, to be able to have that same type of success that we have in the United States. And the reason why I say this is a gift is because this is our country's gift to your country. This protocol that St. Jude has created will be given to Uzbekistan for free.
Wow.
These children that will be then able to be treated here with local doctors, local hospital, local expertise, but with this protocol from the United States. Uzbekistan is not only one of the 6, they are the #1 of the 6 sites in the world because of the progress that's been made with the Ministry of Health and with the President's administration support. And so I'm really excited about having this opportunity because a gift is really what this is. When St. Jude gives this protocol to doctors in the hospitals here for the eradication of cancer for children in Uzbekistan, it's for free. There's no charge.
Protocols?
So it's the actual treatment, it's the drugs, it's how you administer it, it's everything. So, it's important for pediatric oncologists here in Uzbekistan to travel to the United States to be trained at the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and to be able to come back. And there's a relationship, a developmental relationship long term about transferring that knowledge and those abilities. And so it's a way that St. Jude shares their programs around the world because any child that comes to St. Jude pays no money, no matter if you are the grandson of a king or the grandson of someone from a rural country.
It's total free.
Everything's free. And so what we're trying to do is not make that child travel to the United States, but to bring that protocol to be administered locally in that country. And so if we're able to do that, then think of all of those children's lives that can be saved. We talked about the orphanage and we talked about our children. Well, these are children with cancer. And so you never know. One of the presidents in the future of your country or another type leader in your country could be one of these children whose lives are saved.
Then, how are you going to tie the local social projects with the regional one, and how you're going to tie them both to the national level?
That's a great question. So what we've done, as I mentioned earlier, there's a relationship that was organic between our Sagdiana women and the football program with the orphanage, and so they've really embraced and spent time over there, and so I admire these young women so much because they are actually engaged with us at the national level. We actually hosted the first annual women's charity football game in Uzbekistan. Oh. So the Sagdiana women played the Paktakor women for a charity match where we raised money for Ezgu Amal. Ezgu Amal is that nonprofit organization that's here in Uzbekistan that's a very transparent charity that we're giving money to be able to help children with cancer. So that ties the local, the regional, and the national, and the piece that ties it all together is Sagdiana. Those women are incredible. I'm so proud of them.
Then we talk a lot about the social projects in the local, regional, and also national level.
Mm-hmm.
But what has Silverleaf done for its neighboring community?
That's a good question, Ulubek, and I appreciate you asking because, as we have talked about impacting lives, whether it's with our employees or orphanage or Sagdiana women or children with cancer in your country, we live in this community. We live in the community between Tumaris and Mingchinar. And what's important about that is we've gone and we've looked at how can we help impact daily lives and what are the basic needs that people need. I mean, we've done something as simple as graveled a 2-kilometer road inside of Tumaris, but we've also focused a lot on things like water. We have this basin behind us, this reservoir behind us, which feeds into a reverse osmosis, which is in this house over here, because we don't have fresh drinking water from the tap in this area. No fresh water, so it must be boiled if you want to consume it. And so what we've done is we created fresh water for our base of operations here, but we've also opened up a water faucet outside of our fence over here. And the reason is because this is the only water faucet for the people in Tumaris and in Mingchinar to come and drink directly out of the faucet. They can fill up their bottles, their water, their jars, their barrels, whatever they want. They can take as much as they want. It's free and it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's because water, of course, is the essence of life. And we were in Ming Chinar last September, and the principal of the school asked us if we could bring fresh water to the school. I said, well, of course we can, but help me understand why we don't have water at the school right now. She said, well, I'm not exactly sure, but we haven't had water for 5 days. Well, we went to the pump station and found out from the management at the pump station that where the water line comes from Jizok to the Dushlik region, there's a tap that comes off of that. Someone had taken the electric motor. So we dispatched our local engineer here to go to Jizok to buy a new motor. And at the same time, we also called Ministry of Water Resources. Ministry of Water Resources said, don't get a new motor because we'll take care of it. And in 4 hours, they had one delivered here. And as they were working on that project, we decided that looking at the assessment of the pump station in Ming Chinar, there are 4 lines. There was only one line that was operational. It was operational at less than 50% capacity. So as a resident of Ming Chinar, you would have water for 2 hours every other day. So half the village of 5,000 people had water one day for 2 hours, and then they didn't have water again for 2 days. And then the other half of the village had it the next day for 2 hours. And so what we did is we brought that motor and assessed the situation. The pumps were still workable, but pipes were missing, and so we brought our welders, our engineers, and we worked inside the pump station to be able to install this all in the same day that the Ministry of Water Resources was replacing the one at the tap.
Hello, my name is Islamova Nasiba, and I work as a machinist at the Ming Chinar water facility. Before Silverleaf came to our village, one of our pump motors was stolen, and we could only supply water to our population for 4 hours every other day. When Silverleaf heard of this, they immediately provided us with a new pump motor. Now, we can provide our population with water for 8 hours every day. Due to the improvement of our conditions by 4 times, the entire Ming Chinar community is supplied with the continuous water. Many thanks to Silverleaf and Dan Patterson.
And so, as we did that, it was pretty exciting. We turned on our water when they turned on their water, and so now residents in Ming Chinar have water every day for 4 hours a day. So those are little small things, but those change what you're doing in your life every day. Those are things that impact daily lives, and so that absolutely. Now it's still not drinkable water. You have to boil it and still work with it in that fashion. We could increase water more than 4 hours a day every day, except for the basin that it comes into has a crack in it and can't hold any more water. So that's kind of the next project is, as we're looking at this. I mean, we take for granted a lot with lights. And so Ming Chinar hasn't had lights, from my understanding, for 18 years. 18 years. And so we've bought street lights and had our electricians go in and install those in Ming Chinar to be able to bring them light. So as we're trying to do things, there are a lot of big projects that can be done and be excited about, but we're looking at the small incremental life improvement projects that impact people. We've also on M39, because during harvest season, you have a lot of traffic out there, a lot of cotton trailers, a lot of danger actually on M39. And unfortunately, people get killed up and down M39 every year unnecessarily. And so what we did is we actually installed lights out on M39. And the government asked if we would help. We said, of course we would. So we reached into our pockets and we bought these lights and had them installed so that we can, on intersections where tractors turn with cotton trailers, we try to give light to it so that people that are coming through that area feel safer, can recognize danger faster and sooner, and hopefully we can avoid some of these unnecessary accidents that happen every year across the country during harvest season.
Thank you, Dan.
No, thank you. Well, I really appreciate you coming and taking interest in our operations at Silverleaf and what we're trying to accomplish. We're really excited about it, and we look forward to the next time that you come and we can show you some of our other events.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Yes, thank you very much. All right.